Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my February TBR. So I hope you like this setup. Let me move you slightly. I have rearranged my living area. I was gonna say living room, but it's like the one room that's my whole flat, and it's much more open, apart from where I'm sat right now, where I'm actually blocking the TV with the sofa, but let's ignore it. We've got my tapestry, we have Alfonso the avocado, and I can sit here and film videos and not crouch on the floor in front of my bookshelves. So today I'm bringing to you my February TBR. The day that this video goes live is actually my birthday, so thank you in advance for all of the birthday loveliness. I have so many gifts here already and I'm so excited to open them. I will be doing that in a dedicated video. I'll have a birthday vlog which will go up, I believe, Thursday after this goes live. There'll be a birthday vlog. Go and check it out. But I have a lot of reading to talk to you about. My goal for 2023 means that my aim each month is 17 books, which is a hell of a lot, and I don't think I'm gonna hit it in January. So February, come on, we need to amp it up. So to do so, I have 3 reads that I have every month. I have 2 buddy reads, I have a week-long readathon, and I have a month-long reading challenge. So I guess I'm counting that as another readathon. Let me first talk you through the only book I've had complete control over in February, and that is The Five by Hallie Rubenhold. So this is the Chloe's Crime Scene Corner read for the month. If you do not know, I run a book club called Chloe's Crime Scene Corner, where we read dark fiction and true crime non-fiction predominantly. So this is a true crime about the women killed by Jack the Ripper, and it is really highlighting their lives rather than highlighting the travesty of their murder. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard some great things, and I will link the announcement video where I talk about it a little bit more. Next up, over in the Patreon, the top 2 tiers of my Patreon, La Push Beach and the Cullen House, have access to a monthly buddy read where we do a little bit of a poll on books they want to read. Then they then vote on which one they want to read the most, and the book that won this month is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I am so excited to read this, genuinely buzzing. I've just realised on the first page is a Spotify playlist. Oh my god. This is a really smutty romance, I believe, about Rowan and Zara. Rowan, who is creating fairy tales in the form of production companies, 5-star hotels, theme parks. Hiring Zara was a great plan until I fell for her. By the time I realised where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings. Not when we're destined to ruin them. It sounds like such a fun time. I think it's literally theme park based smut. So I'm here for it and I'm very excited. So thank you for reading with me, patrons. While I'm mentioning the Patreons, it would be time to pull out a book from the Patreon TBR jar. So the same 2 tiers of my Patreon can pick any book from my unread TBR and I will read it, hopefully in the month it gets pulled out. So we've gone for this one, which it could literally be anything from smut to non-fiction about Chernobyl. So let's see. Oh, okay. This is Liv's pick, and it is 6 Crimson Cranes. I am very intimidated by this book. One, because it's gorgeous. Like, it's just gorgeous. And apart from the fact that it's fantasy, I don't really know anything more about it than that. I'm just gonna read this bit on the back, which isn't the blurb. Just a few little sentences. It says, Princess in exile, a shape-shifting dragon, 6 enchanted cranes, and an unspeakable curse. It will take more than magic to find their way home. But it's just absolutely gorgeous, so I can't see me hating this book because I need to keep this on my shelves forever. So looks like I'm reading this in February. Okay. Next up, I am obviously, if you guys remember, a co-host of Victoria's Sister Along. So Victoria and the Sister Along announcement will be linked down in the description. But February is our time to read Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. I have never read this book before. I am very excited. This is about Danny Brown, obviously, take a hint, Danny Brown, who is a very successful academic person, and she starts a fake dating situation with security guard Zafia. It says, Danny's plan is simple. Fake a relationship in public, seduce Zaf behind the scenes. But grumpy Zaf is secretly a romantic and he's determined to corrupt Danny's stone cold realism. I am definitely excited to read this one. I've heard great things and I read Chloe Brown in like one sitting, so I'm sure this is going to be great. Next up, speaking of Victoria, we are doing a buddy read in February, which is Bunny by Mona Awad. This was on my books I should have read last year and didn't get round to, so I definitely want to read it. And I've just heard it's weird. And when you go in thinking it's weird, you still don't estimate how weird this is going to be. So I do have very high hopes. I think from the outset, this book has 5-star potential, which pretty much every book I've just held up does. So this should be a good month. But I feel like this really does have 5-star potential, and I'm excited to read it with Victoria. And I'm doing another buddy read with Alice. We are going to read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Alice actually bought me this book when I hit 1,000 subscribers, so it was a little while ago now, and I keep putting it off. Again, it was on my list of books I wanted to read last year, didn't read it, so we have decided we're going to read it together in the month of February. And this is a haters to lovers romance. I refuse to watch the movie until I've read the book. It's got Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars, is what I know her from, so I've been putting that movie off for ages because I want to read this book first, and let's hope it does everything I want. Next up then, the first readathon I am doing, I'm going to talk about this one first because it fills in to the month long. So the week-long readathon I'm doing, I will put the bingo board on the screen because I can't say the name. This is hosted by Ali from Mythic Melancholy. It's running from Monday the 13th to whatever that Sunday is, and it is all about reading monster smut. I want to send so much love and hugs out to Ali because I was talking to her about this behind the scenes, and I really wanted to co-host it, but just for a multitude of reasons I couldn't. And I'm wishing her every success with this readathon, and I will be taking part fully, and you will get a vlog at the end of the week. But the purpose of this readathon is to read monster, right? You with me? You with me? So the line I have gone for, that I'm going to aim for, I'm aiming for 1 line, 4 books in a week, and they're quite chunky books, so we will see if it works. I've gone for Alien, so it'll be no surprise to you the series this book is from. I'm going to be reading Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. This is book number 3, yes, in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I've never read this before, and I just find these editions just so pleasing. It's a very short little book of alien stuff. If you've not read the first book, it's about a group of human women who end up on an alien planet, and they start engaging with the blue aliens. So this is book 3 of Blue Aliens. Next up in that line is Tentacles, and I'm going to be reading Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. I have not looked into this too much. I know there are tentacles. There are tentacles on the cover. There are definitely going to be tentacles in the story. A matchmaking witch, an ancient sea creature, and the sex contract they made. Welcome to the love bathhouse where desire and acceptance are in the water. I am so intrigued. Next up we have Faye, and I've found a book that I've wanted to read for the longest time, and that is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. I didn't actually know this was Faye, but here it says, when Callie finds the Fae King of the Night in her room. I know nothing about this. I remember that Steph from Steph Loves loved it, or at least liked it, and was talking about it around the time I was getting into like a darker romance scene. So yeah, this is book 1 of the Bargainer series, and the cover freaks me out. I'm excited. And then finally, the chunkiest book on this TBR comes from a series I've wanted to reread for the longest time. The first book is chunky, but I hopefully should fly through it. So the position on the line is Ends Up in Another World. So I've gone with Divine by Mistake by PC Cast. This is a book about a woman who goes to an antique auction, and she ends up in a mystical, magical world where she is betrothed to a centaur. It is a good time. I actually read this in the summer of 2017, my post-it note says. I remember reading it on the beach in Lorette de Mar, girls' holiday, and I was reading Centaur romance. So I'm very excited to pick this up again. It is like 600 pages. Yeah, it's like 560 pages. So it should take me some time, but I'm really hoping I enjoy it. Which leads me on nicely to the other readathon reading challenge I am doing, and that is a month-long challenge run over on the Facebook group by the lovely Laura. She put so much effort into the Facebook group, and I'm so excited to be taking part in another of the challenges. So the first prompt is to read a book with red or pink on the cover, where I'll be reading Divine by Mistake by PC Cast. I won't talk too much about the books because I've just mentioned them all. The second prompt is to read a book with one person on the cover, and I'm going for Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. Number 3 is to read a book with a love word in the title, so I've gone for Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. Number 4 is to read a book with a one-word title. So I'm reading Bunny by Mona Awad. And number 5 is to read a book with a character who is single for part of the story. So I've gone for The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. The last prompt is actually really interesting. I think it's going to work well, and it's the connection prompt. So that is to read a book that is connected in some way to your last read. I don't know what that's going to be right now, but to give you examples, I could do this with Barbarian Lover and read the next one, Barbarian Mine. I could do this with Stalked by the Kraken and then read Deceived by the Gargoyles, which is book 2. Or I could read The Hating Game and then I could read any book with a blue cover. Come on, Chloe. I could read Hook, Line and Sinker by Tess Bailey. So I think that's going to be really fun when I figure out what book I'm reading. But yeah, that is the Facebook challenge. And I think that's all I have to say today. So hopefully this TBR wasn't too long. I do not have, there's only 10 books here and my goal has to be 17 if not more. So we will see what I can do. I'm thinking this is going to be a good month. I'm going to try and do a vlog with Larry, the TBR challenge llama. Hopefully that will be coming in the month, but we will see how that all shapes up. But as we are now, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in my next one. Bye.